Hello, Shalom, it's your boy Renaissance here. I talked about Tsukuyomi here before, about a week ago, and I wanted to bring it back, because my opinions on Tsukuyomi have slightly changed a bit. I still think it's a really good engine, but it's not as splashable as I thought it was. It goes into specific kind of decks that don't really counterblast too much, and there's a lot of times where, like, would you rather ride into a new grade 3 or be on Tsukuyomi still? And I think in most cases you'd rather still be on Tsukuyomi if you're able to pull off 3 Tsukuyomis in the soul. So it makes it a little awkward. I think the only card so far that can be like, yes, I will ride this over Tsukuyomi is Pentagonal Magus. So Maguses I will come out with sometime later this week or next week, but this is for mainly a Tsukuyomi pure build. So yeah, let's just hop into it. First up, we are running 4 Goddess of the Full Moon Tsukuyomi. Pretty obvious, main card of the deck. So act on Vanguard once per turn, counterblast, discard 1 card, and choose up to 3 cards of Tsukuyomi in their card names from your soul. Draw cards equal to the same number that you picked, and then if you picked 3, then you look at top 5, put up to 2 of them back on top, and put the rest on bottom in any order. And it doesn't shuffle, so it keeps that like same concept that old Tsukuyomi had, where you can filter stuff into the bottom of the deck and then like remember it throughout the game, and so you can easily more predict what you're gonna be drive checking or drawing throughout the rest of the game. Also on Vanguard, when you reveal 2 more triggers during your drive check this turn, until the end of the turn, 3 of your front row get plus 10. Gives you hella numbers. It's able to really just create critical pressure, because in this build we are running 12 crit, because we don't need any draw cards since we're already drawing our deck. So yeah, being able to more guarantee hitting your triggers through Tsukuyomi's first effect, and then being able to give massive power to your front row through Tsukuyomi's second effect is really strong. So yeah, she's the main card of the deck. She really just helps you filter out seeing what you want, seeing your drive checks, hitting your crits more, and giving you numbers. So yeah. Next we're running 3 Victoria Steer. This is how you end the game, right? Because if you're able to call this on rearguard while you have Tsukuyomi on your Vanguard, then you're giving your whole board plus 10, you're getting 2 crits, and you're getting giving your 2 front row rearguards another plus 10 off Tsukuyomi. They really work hand in hand, because if you deer and you find nothing, then you can Tsukuyomi skill and then try to look more for what you need. I was trying it with 2 and I was seeing it most of the time, but it was very dangerous. I'd damage check one each game. I'd barely hit the other one whenever I really needed it to end the game. So being able to more guarantee that you have your deer whenever you need it is really strong. Last for our grade 3s, I am running 2 CEO Amaterasu. So before I was running 4 Tsukuyomi, 3 Imperial Daughter, and 2 Deer, but after playtesting some with the deck, I really didn't like Imperial Daughter, because every time I could ride it, I either didn't have the counterblast or I just wanted to be on Tsukuyomi more. I playtested like 5 games with it and I just didn't ride it a single time. So I decided to swap into Amaterasu. This could be Hexagonal Magus if you want a cheaper option. They do pretty much the same thing, but Amaterasu on Vanguard once per turn. You can counterblast 1, draw a card, check top, and then put it back on top or bottom. And then on Vanguard or Rearguard, whenever you look at your deck, she gets plus 5 for the turn. Now, this works pretty well, because if you're having to ride into Amaterasu, then you don't have a completely useless skill. You actually have a pretty nice skill to help you search for your grade 3 Tsukuyomi. And it also has a really nice rearguard effects, because you're looking through your deck with Tsukuyomi. So she's always going to be a 17k beater. If you're deering that turn also, then she could hit up to 22 by herself. Well, 32 if you count the deer plus 10, but whatever. So yeah, she's a very nice rearguard. you could definitely run hexagonal more. Hexagonal's better if you're hitting more triggers. That's why you would consider it more. And then you get to pick what card you want out of the top 2 to add to your hand before drive check. It's just if there's a card you don't want in there, then it stays on top instead of going to the bottom, which that's what Amaterasu brings. So it's either or. Amaterasu is more guaranteed to be a 17k, while hexagonal is pretty nice for the most part on being able to check more power with hitting triggers and such. Because she could be minimum 22, but she could also just be 12. So yeah, Amaterasu, I really like it. For our grade 2s, we are running 4 of the grade 2 Tsukuyomi. It's obvious she is needed for the deck because it's a Tsukuyomi name. She fetches for any card you want in the top 5 and is able to just more guarantee have your full Tsukuyomi ride chain. She's really nice because if you have Crescent Moon in Soul, then she's going to gain +3 and you're just going to be able to swing 12 on a Vanguard, which is really good in a lot of cases. So yeah, it's obvious. If you don't run 4, then you're being bad at the game. Next, we are running 4 Promise Daughters on Vanguard or Rearguard during the battle that it attacks a Vanguard. If the number of cards in your hand is 4 or more, she gains +6, so then she's a 15k beater. And then also on Rearguard or Guardian Circle, whenever she would be retired. Well, she can't be retired by an opponent's card effect. So, really nice. You mainly use her for the +6, but it also is pretty decent against Kagero, since they need to swing into her then in order to activate Ammo or Sabel to draw cards and countercharge cards. So her being able to just stick around really easily is really nice. If you're doing Protect 2, then your opponent can't get rid of it unless you noob Atama. So you're pretty much guaranteed to have a strong interceptor there. And yeah, so if you're Tsukuyomiing and you get the +10, then she goes to 25, which is a really good number and hits grade 4 units. That's the main reason why we use her. A lot of the grade 2s in OTT don't really fit this deck too well. You're mainly wanting to hit numbers. I did try Rectangle Magus, and I found the deck really counterblast heavy, and plus if you're not running more ways to get cards in the soul, then you're going to have to Soul Blast your Tsukuyomis to use the effect. So she ends up becoming a vanilla with the on drive check a trigger gain +5 effect. And I don't like that, so Promised Daughter is here. Last for our grade 2s, we are running 4 Battle Sister Macaron. She's new to the set. Auto on Rearguard once per turn. Whenever you look at the top card by an effect during your turn, you can have this card gain +10 for the turn. So it's a lot like Amaterasu, right? On check, you just gain power. Only this is once per turn, but it goes to 19. Really big. If you have a Protect 2 marker, then it swings 24. That's really big. If you're doing Tsukuyomi, then she'll be 29 plus triggers or Dias or whatever. So yeah, she just hits really nice numbers that make the deck pressure really hard, because this is a pressure deck. It's a more pressure oriented kind of Tsukuyomi, well, not Tsukuyomi, OTT deck, where you're constantly checking triggers and all your cards are getting bigger each turn that you're doing it, and you're also having a huge hand in the process, so you're able to just keep doing it. So yeah, with all the numbers and such to add on to the pressure of the deck, it just allows you to push a lot of damage really quickly and able to finish off really nicely with your extra crits and your Deer giving a bonus to your whole board. Yeah, Macaron is really good in this deck. So all your grade 2s gain numbers. That's the big thing. For grade 1s, we're running 4 of the grade 1 Tsukuyomi. Yeah, there's some math from Vision where I'm pretty sure it's like a 43% chance of opening this in your hand, assuming you're redrawing 4 every game. It's not quite that great of a chance, but if you do hit this, then you're in a very good position, because this just sets up everything. It lets you filter through your deck quicker. It gives you a Tsukuyomi grade 2 power, and then it also is a Tsukuyomi name for your grade 3, so then you can draw more. So yeah, it's really nice to have this in the deck, and a must-have, and if you don't have it, then you're bad again. Next, we're running 4 of the new Perfect Guard. We're running this because if we don't ride Tsukuyomi, then this is a decent ride. It's really bad that it's not Tsukuyomi, but it lets you just filter through your deck more, because you don't even need 4 Perfect Guards, honestly. You could probably cut this completely, because you're already gonna have a huge hand. It's just, in this meta right now, there's a lot of decks that hit really high numbers really easily, so I like having the 4 Perfect Guards. But if we're in like a slower meta, like, well, not slower, a faster meta with like Excel and Protect, where they're not quite so much hitting as big of numbers, then you can totally cut these and put in extra stuff. Dogs are going apeshit, I don't know why. Yeah, so this also allows us to run 12 crit, because we're not running the draw trigger Perfect Guards. Last for our grade 1s, we are running 4 White Hair of Inaba. Auto on rear guard. At the end of the battle, it boosts to the grade 3 Vanguard. Put a card from your hand to the soul and draw a card. It's a really nice card, because if you misride your Tsukuyomi, then you're able to just put a Tsukuyomi in there, and it also can help you kind of accelerate it more, because if you don't have your grade 3 Tsukuyomi, but you keep getting your grade 1 or 2 Tsukuyomi, and you're already on the grade 3, then you can, on your first grade 3 ride, boost with this, put one of your other Tsukuyomis in soul, and the next turn you already have the 3 Tsukuyomis, so then you can do your Tsukuyomi effects on the next turn. Really nice. It just helps set up. It gives you soul. You don't have anything in here right now that really soul blast other than Deer. You could accelerate Deer with this too, also. If you have a bunch of extra grade 3s in your hand, then you can put one in soul, and then while you're on grade 3, and then your next turn you ride onto another grade 3, so then you have 2 grade 3s in soul total. So that grade 3 you ride could be Deer. If you need it, it could be another Tsukuyomi, and then you call Deer. The deck can just pop off Deer a little quicker than the Imperial Daughter build can. So yeah, really nice card. It just helps you set up for the later stages of the game. So yeah, other options of the deck that you could play is 1 Imperial Daughter if you're worried about sticking on Tsukuyomi too long if you're not seeing your pieces for it. Then Imperial Daughter is a nice follow-up. If you want to go a more Magus-oriented route, you could do Pentagonal and maybe throw in Fusili Maguses. Pentagonal would replace Deer, and you'd have to like change up your grade 2 lineup to fit Pentagonal Magus, which in turn would allow you to run Rectangle Magus. And if you run Rectangle Magus, then your counterblast in the deck is a lot, because you're counterblasting every turn of Tsukuyomi, you're counterblasting with Rectangle Magus every time. You're probably going to be running Tetra if you do so. So you'd pretty much cut Inaba and run Gemini, because you want the extra soul from Gemini to not be a Tsukuyomi, and you also want the counter charge with it. So yeah, there's that route. Maiden of Libra can be interesting at times. I haven't personally tested it too much, but in cases I was thinking about it whenever I was testing with Macaron, there were some cases Maiden of Libra could have been nice. But for the most part, you're already going to have a big enough hand with this build that you don't really need to counterblast off Libra. Because with this deck, you can be aggressively guarding a lot and still maintain a really large hand size, because Tsukuyomi draws so many cards through your turns, and it's able to end the game quickly. So yeah, those are like the main picks, I'd say, that you could look at. There's like Core Magus, which is always pretty good. There's like the Witch package you could do. There's a lot of things you could do with the deck to change it up, spice it up to however you like. But with this build, it's a lot more simpler and a lot more effective than what I was first trying to go off with. Because what I was first trying to do, it was like too much going on at once. So I'm keeping it simple, keeping it nice and easy to do well with the deck, because I wasn't even thinking that much with it, and I was winning games left and right. So yeah, that's the deck. We're running 12 crit because we want to cheese the opponent and create a bunch of pressure because we're already drawing enough with the deck. So hitting crits constantly, having more chances to get them off deal is really nice. So let me know what you all think about Tsukuyomi in the comments down below. I was pretty wrong the first time. I thought it was just going to be 4 of everything in every single deck, which it kind of is, but it's not as simple as that. You have to like gear your deck around it, and it depends on like what you want with it. So yeah, let me know what you all think down below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. See ya.